More position. Sitting down, cross-legged, opposite cross to your regular cross today. Start off challenging the brain just a little bit. So opposite cross, shoulders, a little time for shoulders to have a squeeze and a move. So bring them forwards, keeping your chest upright, and then take them behind you, sending your chest forward. Give them a wiggle, see what they feel like they need. And breathe. Starting to notice your breath. Noticing sometimes when you give them a really good wiggle around, you find bits they think, oh, ow, what have I been holding on to there? What have I been doing? Did I sleep funny? It doesn't really matter. We just find those places. And then we know to give them a little bit of extra care or a little bit of extra work, depending on how we're feeling and how they're feeling. So sitting up tall, drawing the crown of your head towards the sky, towards the ceiling, and from there, everything else lifts just a little. And take a deep breath in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. And in through your nostrils. And out through your mouth. And in. And out. In. And out. Keep that length, lifting your crown up to the ceiling. Carry on that slow, steady breath. Relax your shoulders. Relax your toes and your fingers. Relax your pelvis as much as you can. Noticing as you breathe in, whether each breath you can fill up a little more, whether when you get to the end of that breath, you have space for just a little sharp intake of breath on top of that already full rib cage, belly, chest. And as you exhale, releasing any tension that's crept in anywhere in your shoulders, in your belly, in your jaw. Slow cycle of breath. And throughout your practice today, keep bringing your attention back to your breath. And gently opening your eyes, just making sure that you're on mute. Make sure that your sit bones are firmly on the floor, and then we're going to inhale, arms upwards, bring a little movement in with this lovely breath, lifting your sternum, lifting your chin slightly, and exhaling when you're ready. On an inhale, we'll bend to the right. Oh. Then bend and exhale when you need to. Lovely. Keeping that going. Well done. Next time you breathe in, take that breath all the way and the hands forward. Folding forward, reaching forward. Continue to breathe easily, just reach forward. Feeling that into your hips, into your lower back, into your mid back. Allow your head to drop forward, taking your chin to your chest. Rolling up. We're going to inhale the arms up again, at the front this time, all the way up. And then we're doing a little bit of a back bend here. So we're looking up to between your hands. Reach up first and then a tiny tilt backwards. Feeling that tension under your jaw, in your neck, and in the top of your chest. And then coming back to center, taking your arms all the way down. Stretching your legs out now, let's come into moving the feet. So toes back towards body, extending your heels away. So lovely long legs, up tall, toes pulled back as tightly as you possibly can. So you're trying to get them to touch your belly button. Still breathing nice and slow and deep. Feeling that tension in the fronts of your shins and pressing your knees gently down. Don't worry if your heels come off the ground. And release. Point your toes. This one where they can cramp up a little. So concentrate on stretching out the midpoint of the top of your foot away from you, rather than curling your toes round. And again, still sinking the legs down towards the ground as much as possible. And we're going to do that same movement, but a little bit faster. So pulling them in and sending them out. Point the heels, point the toes, point the heels, point the toes, heels and toes. And release. Bringing that right leg up into a cradle. I'm just going to move around into the hip. So stirring into the hip. The foot circle as possible. Taking the knee right out to the side, round to the front, and up, and then down again. And then reversing the direction. Quite a lot of work on the arms, legs quite heavy. Well, mine is. All the way around. And release. Bring it into your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a squeeze into the chest. Hold. Stimulating all those lymph nodes in the groin there, and release. Lay that leg back down and let's come up with the other leg again. Let's see if this works. There we go. Let's. Oh. Let's see if that works. I've lost everybody now. Right, let's try. And if I lose you all again, I'll just keep trying. Mr. That's okay, that doesn't work. Okay. Love to know what's going on today. Right. Let's take 43. Right, we've done the hips. Hopefully you've done the hips. Hopefully you're not terribly bored of the hips. Take the legs wide as you can. And we are going to just gently rock. So we're moving into the hips again. Think about keeping your spine long and your chin forward. So sort of reach forward and backwards with the chin. So if you lead from the chin and then notice what's happening in your hips. Again, moving with the breath a lot today. So breathing out as you fold forward, breathing in as you come back. And don't worry if you really don't have much range of movement here. It's early, our legs have not been warmed up yet. Toes are up to the ceiling. And just gently moving forward into that push. We're going to come into pigeon a little later. So I really want those hips nice and warmed up for you. And this is quite a shortcut to a little bit of stretching. So let's hold now, go to that place where it's the furthest you're going to get to. Still keeping your knees down, legs flat to the floor. So the challenge here is get your legs flat to the floor and then release so that you're not clenching with your kneecaps, and allow yourself to stay folded forward. Your hands can be on your legs or they can be in front of you if you want. So, you know, if you put them in front of you, it allows you to relax a little more. So maybe that's a better option. You're not trying to balance quite so much. And release any tension in your toes. Just a moment longer and we're going to move. Well done. Chin to chest first. And then rolling up all the way, bringing your legs in and coming into a squat. So here we are. Nice tidy squat. So keeping your legs to roughly about a foot width apart or a leg width apart. And settling into your squat, finding your balance, finding your comfort or not. If you've been doing a lot of walking or a lot of running, then you might find that your shins protest a little in squat. All the more reason to do it. Keep them nice and flexible. Keep them from becoming too dominant. The other thing we look for in our squat is that lovely bend, that crease in the ankle joint. We want to have some flexibility in the back of the leg, in the Achilles. That's definitely one of those tendons that likes to shorten over time and stiffen. So making sure that we keep it flexible is always a good thing. So we're just hanging out in our squat, trying to relax into this position. And we're going to start moving. We're going to come up into Utkatasana, awkward chair pose. Awkward pose or chair pose? Awkward chair pose. So take the arms forward, keep the legs nice and strong, and we start to lift. Coming up. Not all the way, just into our chair. Knees are bent, and legs are parallel. Sit yourself back, so sliding your knees back slightly, looking down towards your toes, and then adjust your gaze. Look forward about 2.5 meters. Take your belly towards your spine, lengthen through your lower back. So your hips come down, sending your mid back and your lower back out slightly. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way up. Take your arms as far behind you as they will go, sending your chest forward and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling deeply. As you exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. And release. Come all the way forward. Slide down. Then we're going to slide down to the feet and then walk forward, coming into downward facing dog. So find your lovely down dog. Send your hips up. Bring your belly towards your spine. Fingers are wide. And you're pushing the floor away. Pushing the floor away, especially with your fingertips, to give yourself that nice straight line from your wrists to your hips. And you read one more thing today. Shoulders are wide. And we look to our hands now, pivot forward into a plank. We come into a plank. Again, shoulders are wide and directly above your wrists. A nice boxy position. Squeeze your glutes, externally rotating your thighs just a tiny bit. And neck is long. Look a little further forward than your hands to get that space in your neck bones. And then we're going to take the right foot forward towards the right hand. Bring yourself into pigeon. So we're right foot first, right leg first, coming forward. Sliding the left leg back.
And as always, if you want a little bit of support, then a pillow or a little bit of rolled up wrap or something under your right thigh. So the bent leg is the one that gets the support. Pitch forward a little and run out of space. And then it's totally up to you. What do you feel like doing and what do you like to do? Is pushing yourself up. What feels good? Or are you a bit tired? And do you feel that you'll get more of a stretch if you lean forward, arms to the mat, or even extending out and resting down onto your right leg, stretching your arms out in front of you. Now settle in and find your comfort here. We're going to hold for long enough to allow the muscles in your legs to relax. You focus on your left leg, your extended left leg, and let it relax. Soften the knee, ease in the hip, and then take your attention to your right. Relax your ankle, relax your knee. And take your breath into that right hip and thigh. And allow everything to soften and ease. Find a long hold here, well done. And we're going to gently come out. So bring yourself out. If you are reclining forward, set your hands up nice and strong. Tuck your left toes under. Lengthen that nice back leg there, strong and long, and then sliding the right leg out, coming into our plank again. So as you straighten out that right leg, notice what's going on in the hip. See if you can notice change of temperature in that leg. Sometimes that very, very restricted circulation in the right leg there will result in a nice whoosh. I'm just writing a piece on lymphatic drainage. It just reminded me of how amazing yoga is. So we're going to move the left leg now. Are you ready? Left foot to right hand, left knee. Give yourself enough space. That might just be me. Yep, it is me. And then we're going to be doing whatever you want, but you could start perhaps by sitting up, making sure you've got enough support under the left thigh this time. You really want the legs to be able to relax. You don't want that right thigh to be hovering if you can help it. So opening up, which will feel especially good after having had that constriction just now in the right hip, thigh, groin area. And then if you, whatever you did on the other side, same again on this side. And we're going in much more of a Iyengar style today with slow holds, very deep. It's very easy to move rapidly from one asana to the other, knowing that if you are uncomfortable or if you don't enjoy a particular asana, you're only going to be there for a short amount of time. You can just be moving through it almost in your head. Holding the poses is much more of a challenge. It allows your mind more time to wander, requires more discipline, keep that focus on your breath, to keep the attention just in the little bubble around you, on your mind, body, and spirit. And it requires you to allow your muscles to settle. To stop resisting and to go with the flow. It's a much deeper practice. There are benefits in both. If your mind starts to become attached to other things outside of this experience right now, try to bring yourself back here and take your focus to any part of your body or your breath. Do you feel a sense of letting go, of release? We're going to start moving now. Looking forward to your hands. Gently bringing your hands either side so you can raise yourself up if you're folded forward. Tucking your toes under. And lifting to slide that leg back and hold. Allow your hips to equalize and settle. Then bring the hips down towards the ground. Shoulders are wide. Send your chest forward between the tops of your arms. And we're hanging here. The toes are down. Hands are pressing down into the mat. Not completely into the wrists. Make sure that your hands are fully engaged. The fingers too. And breathe. Squeeze your glutes. Very strong back bend here. Hold. Nice and strong in the arms. We're not ready to come for a rest just yet. So bring yourself into upward facing dog to downward facing dog. So we're in our down dog now. Hold in downward facing dog. Stay there for a moment. Shoulders wide, hips up. Tilt your sit bones up towards the sky. And then bringing yourself forward, taking your knees to a hover. Holding above your mat. Adjust your arms if you need to. Mine were too wide. Just brought my wrists under my shoulders. Again, pressing your knuckles down into the mat. Hovering here. A little bit of core work. Hover, hover, hover. Hover and knees down. Knees down. Moving straight into gun dog. Left hand down, right knee down. Right arm floating, left leg floating. You don't have space like me, keep the leg bent. Oops. So shoulders parallel if you can. Same with the hips. Nice and level. Reaching forward, lengthen through that elbow, both elbows. A little bit of a pulse in that lifted leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All the way back. Sending yourself back into Balasana just for a moment. Exhale fully, reach forward. Allow yourself to come all the way down, bringing your torso to your thighs. Nice, slow, steady breaths here. Lovely opportunity to just take a breath. Relax your neck and your shoulders. Last breath. And coming up again. Back into that nice, strong tabletop position. Feet out behind you now. Wrists under your shoulders. And feel strong. And here we go. Left arm floating, right leg floating. Everything else tries to stay exactly where it was. That's the challenge here. Very subtle. Keeping the alignment of your head, neck and back whilst floating the left arm up and the right leg up. Squeeze into that right glute as firmly as you can and breathe. Gaze is next to your hand on the floor. Reaching forward, stretch forward a little more, lift that back leg a little more and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. All the way back. Toes together this time. We're going to go into Balasana, but knees as wide as you can. Really wide. Maybe even wider than your mat. And sending yourself forward. A big strong opening in the hips. And just if you are really uncomfortable, give yourself a stretch without it being terrible. We're not looking for terrible. We're never looking for terrible. We're looking for gently figure out what works and push to that place. If it's safe, if you know that your body can manage, push a little bit further. And this is not a very relaxing version of Balasana. I'm not going to hold for very long. We're just giving the hips a little bit of something to think about. And coming back, all the way up, coming into Baddha Konasana. So a lot on hips and shoulders today. And to have a little bit of a twist. So you might find after all that hip work that you've got a really open and comfortable Baddha Konasana today. Or not. It's hard. Maybe it's always been hard. I was going to say it's hard these days to come to any sort of assessment without there being some kind of judgment attached. So letting go of that judgment, letting go of the need for something to be something. Things can just be. So settling into that Baddha Konasana, gently pushing forward, sending your chest out, so chin out, nice straight back. So straight back, knees down, folding forward, using your breath. Exhaling as you fold, inhaling as you give yourself a little bit more space. Coming forward as far as works for you and staying here for a moment. Coming all the way up, taking your chin to your chest very sharply. We haven't done much with the neck directly, but indirectly the neck has been busy. So sharp in, stretching out. You might feel that across almost into the tops of your shoulders. Hopefully you can feel it down into the top of your back, and maybe even up into your scalp. And then sending your mid back out behind you. Curve your spine into a nice C shape. Feeling that stretch. And then coming back, keeping the chin to the chest, taking the crown of your head down towards your feet, towards the ground. And slowly drawing all the way. Keeping your left leg in. I'm going to take the right leg behind. So bending your right knee in the opposite direction, bringing your right foot tucked in behind you. So your left foot comes to rest on your right thigh. Trying to get both sit bones on the ground. And I'm going to twist out over to the left side. So ignoring the right leg completely, but trying to still keep that right hip down, the right sit bone touching the floor. I'm going to take the right hand to left leg. Shoulders are wide and broad and lifted before you start this movement. Taking the left hand out behind you and then down to the ground. Sometimes it's easier if you use the outside edge of your twisting arm, your right hand, on your knee or on your thigh to give yourself a little bit more purchase, a little bit more twistability. Is that a word? Twistability? It's a good word. Don't forget your eyes, bring them round. Just trying to catch a glimpse of that amazing thing just behind you. What is it? What is that amazing thing? Speaking of amazing things, what is your sankalpa for today? And release. Eyes, head, neck, and all the rest of you too. Coming back to center. Hold for a moment. And then we're going to reverse. No, we're not going to reverse. We're going to do the same on the other side. So right leg comes in, left leg tucks behind. And you can have your foot flat on its right edge, or you might want to bring the top of your foot to the floor, whatever works for you. Do what works for you, but both sit bones on the floor, please. And up tall, of course. You always want to give that spine lots and lots of space. No slumping here. So you're going to take the left hand to the right knee now. So up tall, send your chest around, find that thigh, and then lift all the way around. I've got some tools here. I can use the radiator, I can use the wall. This is fantastic. And again, remember that the outside edge of the back of your hand even is really good for getting a little bit more movement in there. And the eyes, don't forget the eyes. We really want, especially as we get older, to give all those muscles around the eyes a really good workout. We want the muscles in the eyes to work too. Like everything, the less you use it, the less it's going to be available to you to use. It's not depressing, it's exciting because we have a choice. We can choose to remember ourselves, to honor ourselves, and to give ourselves a little bit of time and attention. And release. Don't give yourself some time and attention. You'll just tootle along beautifully and it'll all be fine. If you do, it'll be better than fine. Inhale up and exhale, fold. Paschimottanasana, nice little squeeze into the digestive system, into those internal organs, reaching forward and again, moving with the breath. Inhaling to straighten and come up, exhaling to fold a little further. Exaggerate the movements to start with. And then as you fold further and you find your comfort in this posture, the movements can be very small. Governed by your breath. So stretch your heels forward, lengthen through the backs of your legs. If you lengthen, you'll find your legs are miraculously a little bit longer than they were. And your knees, or the backs of your knees, are a little closer to the ground. Folding and Paschimottanasana. This is another relaxation pose. Try to breathe, imagining your third eye. Absorbing energy from all around you and then sending it out to the universe. Holding in Paschimottanasana every now and again, you realize, oh, I'm comfortable here. And you can edge forward a little more, or you just move forward a little further without even thinking about it. And then slowly coming back, bringing your knees in, giving them a hug, taking your heels off the floor, your feet off the floor, squeezing in. Well done. We're going to do a little bit more of a balance challenge here before we move into our floor postures. So bring yourself into a squat. So find your squat. Now we are challenging the stretch on the fronts of the legs. We've been doing quite a lot on the backs of the legs, so try and bring yourself as forward as you can. While taking your heels down as close to the floor as you can, or on the floor. So we're going to come into a one-legged squat, taking ourselves over to the right first. So lift yourself off a little, helps to bring your knee forward, and then shift slightly over to the left so that it's going to come into the center of your chest, and then bring yourself forward, bring your knee up. Settle your knee right into the center of your chest. It should hopefully be quite comfortable. What bra you're wearing. And then taking your left leg out to the side. So it's a slide out to the side. You might need your hands to the floor, or you might be quite comfortable holding here. It may be that normally flat to the floor works fine, but in this posture, you need to be up on your toes. I'm certainly going to find it much more comfortable being up on my toes here, although then again, it might be harder to balance in a moment. So swings and roundabouts all just depends on our proportions and which muscles we have a little bit more flexibility in. So left leg is out to the side, pressing down with that leg, so we get a bit of a stretch in the left thigh and hip, and then we're going to be lifting off. So lifting the left leg off, we'll change this into a strength posture. Left leg lifted, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing that left leg in, sliding across to the left now. Find your center, find your space where that knee is going to be comfortably into your chest, held or just there. And then the right leg goes up to the sides. So right leg is out to the side, just settling here, pressing the back of that knee down towards the ground. Take a breath, and then we're going to lift. So lifting the right leg now. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that leg back down, bring it in, taking yourself into a wide leg squat and sinking your hips down towards the ground, bringing your hands together and using your elbows to press the knees away and raise your chest, lengthen your back, crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Very strong posture. We've done a lot today with hips, quite a lot with shoulders, lots of compression, lots of movement of the lymph. And where the lymph moves, everything else follows, and vice versa. So we just haven't done enough inversions, so we're going to come into one now. Taking your hands to the mat, raising your hips, bringing your head low, and we will hold here. So link your arms if you want to. You can sway from side to side. Enjoying that sensation in the leg as you move your torso towards it. And stretch. So with our inversion, we're really looking to get as much blood flow going against the usual gravity situation. Then we want that blood to be flowing to the face, to the neck, to the lymph nodes in your neck, and your throat, to your whole of your scalp. You think about how much effort has to be made to get blood flow up to every single hair follicle, every single skin cell in our face, to our eyes. Yes, we sleep. We usually sleep on a pillow. Again, that doesn't help. There's quite a strong body of research around trendeling, which is lifting the base of your bed just a couple of centimeters higher than the top, the head of your bed, and sleeping with your legs slightly raised. Worth looking up, it's very interesting. If nothing else, when you wake up in the morning, change your position and just hang your head over the edge of your bed for 5 or 10 breaths. So calming as well, aside from anything else. Okay, how are we feeling? Feeling very relaxed. Feeling like we've had enough of an inversion, we're slowly going to come all the way back down to the ground with our hips. Hips down, head up. Take your bottom down to the ground, release your legs, bring them out in front of you, and let's have a little balance. Close your eyes. Hold this balance. Legs raised. Relax your shoulders. Eyes gently closed. Allowing everything to settle in. The usual gravity situation to become comfortable again. And we're going down from here into lying on our backs. So however works for you. If you want to roll down, it's a bit chilly today. Maybe just here, yes, maybe just here. So if you need something for your shavasana, find something. I mean a wrap or a blanket or something cozy. Now squeeze your knees into your chest. Give them a rock from side to side. Well done. Congratulate yourself on another practice. Another tiny little chunk of time in your week devoted to your well-being so that you can go on and do just the most amazing things in all the other chunks of time. We're still rolling gently from side to side. We're going to come into a little bit of a back bend here. So hips are up, feet are down, bridge. Sending your hips up towards the ceiling, squeezing your glutes one last time here. Squeeze, 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 lift, go as high as you wish. If you'd rather, you can come up into a shoulder stand. Breathe and squeeze and lift. Just a little bit of counter pose. Up on toes. Hold. And release. All the way down, vertebra by vertebra. Nice and slow, knees into your chest. Arms out to the side, legs over to the right, gaze over to the left. Coming into a final twist. If you twist a lot, and today we've done quite a lot of opening up in the mid-body, starting off with side bends, following up with some twists. You might find that this feels too easy. You're very welcome to adjust your legs. You can cross them, you can straighten them to get to the point where you feel the most stretch. Or you can just hang out here and relax into the posture. Bring your head back to center, knees skimming across the chest, all the way up to the other side. Bring your head back to center, knees back to center. One big hug. And take yourself into your shavasana. Eyes closed, legs out, arms a little away from the body, palms up towards the ceiling, up to the sky. Lengthen through your legs, lengthen through your arms, give yourself some space, give yourself a little wiggle. Wiggle everything, be a jelly on a plate. Wobble your head, wobble your legs, wobble your arms. Start that movement in your hips, in your shoulders. And release. Relax your entire body. Feel that you are completely supported. Breathe right down into your belly. And as you exhale, let go, release. Feel free. Feel full of possibility, light and warmth as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, letting go of fear, letting go of judgment of yourself and of others, letting go of all the things that hold you back, all the invisible rules in your head, let go. As you breathe in the knowing that there is no one way to be. As you breathe out, you feel a little lighter, a little freer. As you breathe in, you know there is no prescribed way to do anything. There are no rules. As you breathe out, you settle into yourself to fully love and cherish and honor and respect who you are, who you're meant to be. As you breathe in, you feel a sense of peace and calm going to every cell in your body. As you breathe out, gently coming to lie on the right side. When you're ready, bringing yourself up to sitting. Keeping your chin to your chest. Keeping your hands to heart center. And a big inhale. Open your eyes. Lifting your gaze. And namaste. Thank you for persevering with me today. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Oh, a combination of goodness knows what. Anyway, never mind. It happened. It worked. Much love to you. Thank you for persevering. And I'll see you soon.